the hypergamous journey. So this has been resonating with me to do. So over my birthday weekend, I had a male cousin to visit, and he stayed for a couple of days. And I realized a couple of things about myself. As a single woman all of my life who is child-free, I noticed, and I haven't had a male guest in a long time, like over a couple of days, and I realized from this cousin that men handle things differently than women. I'm talking about the physicality of handling things, like turning off the faucet, opening doors, closing doors, walking. I've lived alone for all of my life, except maybe for 3 or 4 months when I was 27 or 28. Between 27 and 29, I lived with a dude for like 3 or 4 months, not long, before I put his behind out. It was my apartment. Actually, it's a co-op in Washington, D.C. I had purchased. And, the difference between a co-op and a condo is you own shares in a cooperative. You pay share prices to own a portion of the entire property, and the taxes are apportioned according to the number of shares that you own. So anyway, that was my first experience with home ownership when I was 23 or 24 years old. And it was my co-op apartment that he came to live with me in for 3 or 4 months. And then I asked him to leave. And even nicely drove him to the location where he wanted to go, which was to his mother's house. So keep in mind, I was like 27, between 27 and 29, and I think he was the same age. So I digress. And so what I realized is that men take care of things differently than women. So I've lived in my home for 5 years. This was built in the 1930s. It was completely gutted and renovated. And so I take care of my stuff. So I'm not harsh on the doors. And it shows wear and tear. The home shows wear and tear after 5 years. But basically, it doesn't look like I've been there for 5 years because I take care of my stuff. But what I noticed is like how I gently closed the door. He was like banging the door closed. It seemed like a bang to me because of the loud noise it would create. But he's a man who is over 6 feet tall. He might weigh 230, 250, between 230 and 250. And I weigh 155. So, and I'm a woman. So the way I close the door is gentle, and I, close it with my hand, whereas he will swing the door closed. So he will be 2 feet away from closing the door, and then he'll just reach over and slap the door closed, whereas I will gently push the door. Do you understand? If you are married or you are in a mated relationship and you live together, or you have raised your son or are raising sons and grandsons, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, and I was just observing his behavior. So he would close the door. It would be a bang close. Rather, I would gently close it. Turning off the faucet, he would, yank the faucet closed, whereas I would gently push the faucet. Opening the door, I would, gently open the door, holding on to the knob, twisting the knob longer, whereas he would do a quick turn of the knob and pull the door open. And I said to myself, I can stay here for 10, 15, 20 more years and the door will never come off the hinges. But if he lived here, the door would be off the hinges in 7 to 10 years. And the hinges and all of the stuff holding the hinges, the trim, would have to be replaced because he's so rough. Or the same thing with the faucet handle. It will have to be replaced because he's handled it so roughly, whereas mine I can keep the same faucet handle for the next 20 years without replacing it. But I just noticed those things. And what else did I notice? just, opening and closing doors. Oh, this is a thing that made me think of him as a little boy when we were growing up. My front yard doesn't really have grass. Grass grows, but not full, because the trees are about 90 years old too. And so their roots are on the top soil, are on the top. And I'm told I need to buy more soil and do all of this other stuff to grow flowers and to cover up the roots and this and that and that and this. It just seems like a lot for me to do. And so I'm not there yet mentally to do all of that regarding the trees and the tree roots in the front yard and making grass grow and all of that, because that's just more stuff for me to maintain as far as I'm concerned. So I try to see the beauty in nature as it exists. And so there's a way when you walk down the front porch and there's a walkway, you get to the sidewalk and then you have to make a right turn and then you go to the driveway, or that's the long way. Or you could take a shortcut, which is come down the porch steps and cross over all of those tree roots to get to your car or the driveway. Well, it had been raining on and off all weekend. So he decides that he wants to take the shortcut. Now, it had stopped raining a little bit, so the mud wasn't that bad. But he was like a little boy taking the shortcut over the tree roots where it was a little bit muddy. And the way that he did wipe his feet before he would come into the house. So I will give him credit for that. But the way he was wiping his foot and making it, that loud stomping noise and swiping his his shoes and feet on the outdoor rug outside the front door, made me think of a little boy who, trying to do what he's been taught to do, but just being loud and stomping on it. And I thought, well, in another 5 to 7 years, maybe 10, I'm going to have to replace the porch wood, because he will have stomped a hole or it made an indentation in the wood on the front porch. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you about my feminine observation of how men put more wear and tear. Men put more wear and tear on a home or an apartment or anything of that nature where they use on a consistent, regular basis. They put more wear and tear on things. And you have to replace it probably sooner than you would if you were the only one living there. And maybe, it's a thing with children, period, that they do more wear and tear on the property than adults do, because we spending the money on it and they are not. Or do you agree with me when it comes to having a man around, that they put more wear and tear on your property, on things, than women do? That's my take on it, is that men put more wear and tear on your property, your apartment, your home, than you do yourself as a woman, where we're more gentle and aware of things. Sorry, that fell down. Yeah, so that's my take on it. But I just thought it was interesting how I was making that observation about my cousin coming to visit for the weekend to help me celebrate my birthday, and how he was banging and jiggling things that I normally am gentle with, just out of being a woman. And maybe the way I was raised too, and maybe it's because I've spent my hard-earned money on buying the home, and anything that needs to be replaced, I have to buy it to replace it and pay for the labor to have it installed. So that could be my thing too. Or it could be any one of those things, or all of them combined. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my feminine observation of this little matter. And I have another video where I will talk about I forgot. Yeah, I forgot about whatever other thing that I wanted to share. But anyway, that was my main point about how men handle their physicality in touching and turning on things and opening things and closing things and cleaning. They clean differently than us. And so yeah, let me know your thoughts on what I just observed. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and comment. Yes, I will see you in the next video. Bye.